Hey y'all. I can't see what this is. Welcome to. So I'm always trying to learn something new. And I'm gonna let you guys listen to this, but from listening to it, I kind of think that they are paying people of color to say anything.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Lucas Lee Tyson, and today I want to walk you through a case study on how myself and my business partner, Ozzy Blessed, have been teaching hundreds of normal, everyday people how they can potentially create a part-time or a full-time income just for reading simple scripts into their phone. This is something that we've been doing for the past few years, despite all of the financial craziness going on in the world right now. And this has allowed normal, everyday people, ranging from high school dropouts to 70-year-old retirees, to potentially create a full-time income just using their phone and an internet connection. Now, when I say reading scripts into their phone, I'm not talking about becoming a voice actor or doing some paid commercial or anything like that. No, these are scripts that wealthy business owners are going to pay you for because they need help bringing more customers into their business. And by reading these scripts into your phone, you can actually play a massive role in helping these business owners continue to make money despite all of the financial craziness going on in the world right now. And this is something that doesn't require any previous experience, any techie skills, and nothing more than, like I said, your phone and your internet connection. And in doing so, myself and my business partner, Ozzy, have been able to help some clients get some pretty incredible results that I want to show you right here.
23,000 in 1 month. That changed my life completely.
32,000 US, which is just about 40,000 Canadian because I'm in Toronto. Start day with Ozzy, number one. Today 30 with Ozzy, and to get 10K within that.
Within just days, if not hours, you can quickly be a success at this and making more money than you've ever made in your entire life.
So if you've been looking for a simple, safe way to make some extra income in your spare time, this could potentially be a perfect fit. So that being said, I'm really excited to welcome Ozzy here and jump into the case study.
All right, how is everyone doing? I'm extremely excited for today's interview with Mr. Ozzy Blessed, someone that you might have seen around Instagram and social media before. He's a father of 7 kids and has become a multi-millionaire using this thing that we are going to be talking about today called cash flow consulting, which in my opinion is one of the biggest opportunities in 2023 with everything going on in the world. Ozzy, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Listen, this is a very important thing for me because it's what I feel that my whole life has happened for me for a reason. A lot of times things happen in life and you're like, why am I going through this? Why am I having this bad moment in my life? Yep. And then I realized that there's nothing that actually bad happens to you in life. Yep. It's just a learning lesson that you understand later in life, right? You go, oh my gosh. So now when I see why did I have this job? Why did I lose that one? Yep. Why did my business fail? Why did I have to learn the hard way? Yep. Actually, it was all like comes together as a perfect skill for what we're doing here, which is cash flow consulting, and share that to the world and how we can really help people. And I really believe it only works in this time. Like this would not have worked 20 years ago. It would have gone over everyone's head. People weren't really there mentally, or even in a deeper sense spiritually. I don't think they were really there. So I think that I feel super blessed that we have something we can share that's going to change a lot of lives massively.
100%, 100%. And obviously, for those of you watching this, I'm sure you've seen these countless number of social media gurus and these online business models, like selling things on Amazon or drop shipping or affiliate marketing, crypto, whatever it happens to be. And obviously, some of these things can work. I'm not saying that no one ever makes any amount of money. But in your opinion, Ozzy, why do you think this is such a massive opportunity for the average person that obviously wants to achieve financial freedom in 2023?
Well, it's the closest thing you have to 100% guarantee, right? The closest thing to it. Because if you do it and more importantly, it can be done in less than like 2 weeks if you really want to. That's really the norm. But we say 30 days. But really within 2 weeks, you could be out there and actually make some money and change your life. So what does everybody want, right? They want to do something, learn a new skill that they can implement immediately and get back. Right. Nobody wants to go to college anymore 4 years, and then after college comes out, you have this huge debt. Then after that, guess what? There's no jobs, right? Unless you're like a scientist, a mathematician, chemist, attorney, or lawyer, a doctor. I mean, besides that,
Yep.
it doesn't really make any sense anymore,
Yep.
right? And you know, if you're walking out with a psychology degree, I mean, go say hi to Starbucks. That's pretty much what's happening. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's sad because there's amazing people that work at Starbucks and Best Buy and all these like great locations
Yep.
that worked really, really hard for 4 years,
Yep.
and it's unfair that now they're forever in debt. You know, they can't get rid of this debt no matter what they do.
Yep.
They can't, you know, go, I'm gonna go file bankruptcy. It was a mistake.
Yep.
They can't do that. So what happens?
I
Now
got a
they're-
degree in
they're,
sociology. It's a
tied down
Bachelor
to
of
this
Arts. Never
one
used
mistake
it.
that they made when they were young and didn't have the knowledge to make a decision
Right.
at 17, 18 years old to sign up. You know, just that idea is pretty crazy, right? Giving that much money to a young kid.
Yeah.
Nowhere else, you know, doesn't make any sense to give a kid that much responsibility.
Right.
But, you know, it happens.
Yeah.
So here, instead of doing 4 years, you could do the training, be done within 2 weeks.
Wow.
And
So they
make
trying to
money
sell
before
something.
30 days. More money they could make on any job,
Yeah.
really, right? So it's the closest thing to being and achieving CEO money without being a CEO.
Wow. And obviously, I like to say that everyone who's kind of going on this journey of entrepreneurship, seeking out financial freedom and wealth, everyone kind of has this breaking point where you realize, like, the path that 90% of people are on of going to school, getting a 9 to 5, working 40 years, getting the mortgage, the white picket fence, all of this stuff. There's some point where you're like, that's not the life that I want. Did you have a moment in your life where you really sat down and realized, I
So
have to do
everybody
something
making money
outside
on
of the
social
traditional
media. I'm
path?
trying to
Like
learn
this
how to
is
make
down.
more money, but
Like
most of the things
Crazy
I'm
right
finding
now.
are they keep
Okay, so
BSing.
I had, you know, just to clarify, you know, I was in gangs at the age of 9 years old. I was around it. I was mentored by the main leader of the gang, but he didn't let me join that gang. He was like, "You're not going to do this," you know. But of course, being a hard-headed kid, I still did it, right?
Yep.
Somewhere else. And so what happens is, a couple times in my life, you know, you feel really bad about what you're doing. Like internally, I was never a bad kid.
Yeah.
I was just a scared kid that was trying to just survive in a very bad time.
Right.
Now, just a little insight. It was you know, late 80s, early 90s, where the crack epidemic was just all over LA.
Yeah.
And it's the
I can't
highest level
relate.
of gang violence ever in history in Los Angeles, right?
Wow.
Because everybody was a gang member. It wasn't cool to be an athlete. It wasn't cool to be a dancer. It wasn't cool to be studious. Nothing was cool. The only cool guy that would get the girls is
The gang member. Wow.
So, or the drug dealer, right? So what happened? I looked at those guys like, dude, you guys are it. You know, they're living like a
The
rapper or
advertisement
like
was,
an NFL player, basketball player.
read a script
That
and get
lifestyle in
$1,000.
inner cities.
That was the
So
advertisement.
those were the only heroes that we had, sadly. But I'm only, you know, at the time I was like,
You
five,
shouldn't. You don't have to
five, six
convince
as a kid.
people to do that.
I was
So the
scared.
more they
I was a
talk, the
small
less
kid,
I'm
and I just learned really
interested.
quickly, like if I just act tough and I become the aggressor, no one bug me.
Right.
Right. So that was where it all started for me. You know, as a kid. Now, when I tried to change that a couple times in my life, one of those moments was I was 18, right, and I just lost the job, and the telemarketing job I told you about. I just lost that job, and because the guy found out that I got all this stuff, and so you know, it happened.
Yep.
And I wasn't as bright as I thought I was, right? So I lost a job, and then I heard that they were hiring at Costco. And back then, having a job at Costco or FedEx was a pretty like,
Legit. Yeah.
man, that's a catch. You want to marry that guy. You know, if you had the brown FedEx shorts, you were doing something. You know, so in those times, it was a good gig. And I thought, you know, if I get a job at Costco,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be okay. You know, so I went for my interview at Costco, and they sit you down. Is what he says, sit down, bring me back. They sit you down in the cafeteria area where you eat the hot dogs and stuff.
Oh.
There's no like nice meeting room. It's like just sit
Yeah.
down next
Just
to
out with the customers.
yeah, this person next to me just bought a whole bunch of like toilet paper, and I'm sitting next to him explaining why I want this job.
Yeah.
And the guy said, you know, Ozzy, I like you. I like you, man. You know, and he was probably like my age now. He was probably like 45.
Yeah.
And he said, look, you're a young guy, and I'm gonna give you some advice. If you stick with the company, you do what I'm doing, you can have a good life. He's like, I got it all, man. He's like, I got a nice house in Santa Clarita, which is, hey, no shade against Santa Clarita, but it's not LA Hills, you know, like Hollywood Hills, right? And he's like, I live in Santa Clarita, and my wife has a brand new Corolla, and I have a brand new Honda Accord. We're doing well, man. We're doing real nice, and you could have that one day, right? The problem with that is all my friends got Lexuses,
Yeah.
BMWs,
Yep.
Benzes, and Land Rovers. At the time, those were the cars that
Right.
were out there. And I was like, what the hell? This is like a downgrade to everything I've ever done.
Right.
Now, to be fair, was it legal? No, they weren't doing anything legal. But I've been exposed to this luxurious life from a long, long time as a kid.
Right.
And I just said, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to settle. Something in my heart said I don't want to settle. Now, everyone that knows me knows I don't smoke. I've never done drugs in my life because I was told at a young age, if you're gonna sell it, don't touch it. So I never had a want or need, and I've seen the effects of what happened when people did drugs.
Right.
So I've never done drugs. I've done anything. But he said, all you need to do to get hired is go get this test, go to this lab, and you get the job. And I remember I got in the car, and I just sat there, and I was like, what am I gonna do? This is a fork in the road in my life at this moment,
Right. Yeah.
And I really felt it in my heart that this is a moment I got to make a decision where my life is going to end up.
Right.
And I said, I called a buddy named Bobby. He was like a father figure to me. And I said, hey, Bob, can you help me out? Can you lend me $5,000? He had just got this like settlement check recently, so I know he had it.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, is there any way you can help me? Like $5,000, and I'll give you $7,500 back. In like 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, cool, man, come get it. So he's like, cool, man, come get it. And so I go over there and I kind of told him, hey, listen, I work at this telemarketing company. I know where they buy it from. They only buy it for $20. They sell it for like $300.
Wow.
It's gonna be great. And sure enough, right? So he gives $5,000. I go to Home Depot. I don't have enough money to buy desks, so I buy plywood and I start cutting plywood. I make desk out of them. I make little holes to hold my telephone. Because back then you had like an old school for telephone. And I made my little dividers and I bought a carpet and I put them in between the dividers for the sound. And guess what? I had an office.
Wow.
With 12 little units. And my office looked like a closet. There was no windows. It was the only thing I could afford, right? It was in a bad part of town in Van Nuys. And there was literally a porn company next to me.
Wow.
And I was like, it's kind of sketch, but hey, it's what I can afford. It was like $300 a month. And so that's my first little office, man.
Wow.
And so that's where it started.
That's pretty crazy. And obviously, since then, you've had many different businesses, have made and lost, millions in your journey. One of the biggest things that I think sticks out about your story is that you had a very successful, real estate operation during the 2008 recession. And right now in 2023, all of these experts, JP Morgan Chase and Wall Street, all these financial experts are saying
They just
that
sent it to me
this big
today, so-
impending recession is coming. Now, from someone that's having lived through and literally been probably like the worst position you could be in during 2008, what are some of the things that you're thinking about right now in 2023 to not only prepare to survive any potential recession, but most importantly, capitalize and try and thrive off of it?
Well, just so people understand, when I see this, it's like the equivalent of someone has been heartbroken, and you see like a 15-year-old kid or girl who's heartbroken, and you're like, I know exactly what you're going through, but you know it's happening before it happens.
Right.
Because you see their partner doing
the
all
signs.
the signs, like
this
is going to end very, very bad. I know what's going to happen, and this person's giving all their love to this person. They're going to be heartbroken. Now, if you can relate to that, you can relate to me watching everybody right now being foolish, thinking this is not going to affect them. And I'm just like, okay. I've seen this, and I lived through this fucking book before. Right? So what happened in 2008? Hey, listen, guys. When someone like myself who has no high school degree has no options, you got to be creative. I was very creative. I got a mortgage company, and I had loan officers, and we're making all this money. And I had a luxury house. I have just built this massive waterfall. It was like an 8-foot waterfall drop. Pool, brand new pool. And it was a couple $100,000 to build, and I have these luxury cars, and life was great. I actually was building 12 properties at the time, right? Because I got really close with one of the guys from Countrywide. He was just like making me insane construction loans. So at the time, I would brag of like, hey man, I'm building 12 houses, baby. I'm the guy.
On top of the world,
I'm on top of the world. I'm going to the clubs. Everyone knows. I'm doing my thing. And I'm building 12 houses. That's what I do. I'm a developer now. All of a sudden,
right.
I had all these hats that I didn't know what I was doing, but I had definitely wore them like it was my thing, right? So guess what? 2008 happened. I was like everybody right now. This will never end. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna. I'm gonna do this for the next 25 years, no problem, right? And then 2008 happened. that Black Thursday I walked in the office and it said, "Hey, Countrywide's not responding. World Savings not responding. New Century's not responding." And everyone's like, "What?"
Wow.
It's like the news is like, "Yo, so people are outside the banks trying to get their money out. They're not opening the banks."
Wow.
And
Wow.
and I knew, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I went in trouble. Mm-hmm. So then all of a sudden, we roughed it out for about a year and a half with savings and so forth. But at the end, it got me. Those 12 houses gone, my house gone, everything gone. So when I was left with nothing, and I had $1,400 left, I said, all the cars got repoed, by the way, right?
Mm-hmm. You had some nice cars back then, right?
Oh my God. Saddest thing is, imagine this, you're in bed, 2:30 in the morning, you're in bed, also you hear, and your cars are on. And you're like, and all I did was this.
He knew what was happening.
I just knew.
Yeah.
I just knew.
Oh,
and
no.
I came outside and I was like, hey, bro, this is the second one we're taking already. Like, it's already a problem. Like, I already knew. I came out and said, hey, man, can I get my stuff out? And the car was already getting driven to.
Oh, no.
He was like, hold on, man, hold on.
Wow.
He goes, give me a minute. And then not till they had it on the tow bed.
Yeah.
That he was like, all right, come on. And he was like, what do you need? And I just took my stuff out, my head down, and I was like, at least the neighbors are not noticing. It's 2:30 in the morning. Next day, hey man, what happened to your car? So I was like,
oh no, that's the worst.
It was the worst. It was the worst. So guys, I've been through it all. I've been through this many times. The last car I had was a BMW X6 at the time, and we had no house, so I was staying at my brother's house in South Central on 86th.
He really think this how you sell a product.
Bad area. And I was like, cool.
But bullshit.
I had my Louis Vuitton luggage
Crazy.
case, right? That I had back in the day. And I had it in the back, and in there was all the money I had.
This is what you don't do.
Gosh.
You get to the point.
Wow.
So my name in this world was in that little luggage.
Wow.
But I had it in my brother's driveway behind the gate. I thought it was safe. And I was like, I'll get it later. I'll get it like in an hour or whatever. Because we took groceries out. And I was staying with my brother for it's like the second day I'm there with my brother. And then
What would they have to do with us?
And when I go to the front yard, car's gone.
No. Oh my God.
And I'm like,
oh my God.
my luggage is there. My money's there.
Oh my God.
So we got a hold of them, and they were nice enough and honest enough that everything was there.
Oh well. That's good.
And so I got my little bit of money left, and $1,400 is what I used to buy a minivan to pretty much house me and my kids.
Wow.
So when I tell you that I've been through it, y'all, I've been through it. Not, I had a job and I got let go, and I went on unemployment for a couple months. No. I mean, from millions to nothing.
Yeah.
From being everyone wants to be your friend to like, ha, look at him, right? Yeah. So back in the day, the phone could only hold so many.
Yeah.
Memory wasn't really great. My phone was so full that I had to like delete people to put new people in. Right? That's how popular it was in the Hollywood party scene and all that, right?
Yeah.
And then when it happened, guys, not one person took a call from me.
Wow.
Not one person called me to see if I was okay.
Wow.
Nothing. So hard learning lesson that we are alone in this little ride of life.
Yeah.
Right? And then just a few people that matter to you is the family that you build.
Right.
Nothing else, right? So I had to learn that lesson.
Yep.
A lot of lessons learned that now I implement in my life, but in that time is what I needed to learn because I didn't listen to, like most kids, any advice my parents gave me. I was like, no, they're different. My friends are real.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn that lesson. And that's what happened. So when I see it now, I go, wow, man, these people, these young guys, they're all on doing their thing, and they think it's never going to stop. They think this recession is not going to happen. Yeah. Guys, we've been in recession. Right now, we're in January, right? We've been in recession for like 3 months. I mean, on record. I mean, they don't speak about it in the radio and the news, but it's on record. We've been, for over 3 months now. Yeah. And what's going to happen in the summertime? I mean, already, car market has dropped. House market has slowed down dramatically. Yep. 60-70% of loan offers have been let go from most lending institutions. So the signs are there, and everyone's still ignoring it. The worst part about this recession, it's not a real estate recession. It's a global recession.
It's going to affect everything.
Everything. Yeah. Right? Everything's being affected.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be much worse in a way where some people that weren't in real estate weren't really hurt. Like, I was really hurt because I was part of real estate. Where other people just say, hey, I lost my job, and when we grew up in, I'll go work at another diner. Yeah. But I had no other diner to go work to because my ego was so inflated. I'm the man. I'm the baller. I'm the guy with all the cars. How can I go get a job? It literally took me like years for me to like simmer down this ego and be like, I'm not taking a job.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
think about that, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta be honest how weak I was mentally, right? Where that ego was really controlling me. So
Yeah.
if I could tell anybody this is right now, you're still in time to set yourself up to succeed. You know, we work in the industry that actually does better in recessions, and that's one thing I look for, right? Because that pain point when I said, "Why don't we do business?" I want to do something that can resist and actually thrives in a recession.
Yep.
Because I've been through the opposite of that.
Yep.
So our industry is a bill. You know, what's those numbers like?
It's predicted to be worth $500 billion by 2026. It's
Insane.
one of the only industries that's growing that quickly.
Right.
Pretty insane.
And we gotta sadly thank COVID. So sorry for everyone that passed away. I know people that passed away because of COVID. But it changed the world, right?
Yeah. Yep.
This here, Zooms, videos, YouTube, everything that's through a video camera became the norm,
Yes. Yep.
right? I come from the solar industry
Social media
too.
is winning
So
right
guess
now.
what? Nobody wants a stranger in their kitchen anymore. It's like just send me a Zoom link,
Yep.
and I don't know you, I don't trust you, I don't want you in my living room,
Yeah.
right? It's much safer. I mean, I think it's a perfect thing. But it made education with kids normal at home.
Yep.
It made everyone get really comfortable being in front of a camera,
Yep.
and this becoming the new way of communicating.
Yeah.
Right. So with that said, it changed the industry. It changed how we communicate.
Yep.
So that's why I got excited. I wanted to get into this industry.
Yep.
But I brought with me, over 2 decades of heartache lessons that have always proven successful. To bring into this thing. So the question you asked me about this recession, how I feel about it, it's going to be equally or more painful for everybody else as it was in 2008 for the real estate market.
Yeah, totally. Makes a lot of sense. So obviously the industry that we were in, by all accounts, is what people would say is recession proof. If anything, it does even better in a recession. The main thing I think people would be wondering about is ultimately what exactly is this role of a cash flow consultant? And ultimately, why do you think, for anyone that's maybe like yourself, who before they were going through all of these painful lessons and heartbreak, why do you think this is the best place for someone to start out in, rather than trying to start their own online business or going to college or anything like that?
Well, to start any business, you need massive amounts of money, right?
Right.
You need 6 months minimum to cover all expenses and all the surprises that will occur.
Yep.
Then on top of that, you have to literally be ready to deal with all the BS. Right? My advice if I go back to myself and say, what would you do? I wouldn't start a company right away. I would do it for 5 years, at least 5 years, for somebody else. Right? But this doesn't work in a regular job. You can't go get a regular job.
Yeah.
5 years. Hey, now I'm going to do my. So you have to be in a place that makes more money than normal.
Yeah.
So here you could actually make 20, 30, 40,000 a month.
Yeah.
Where can you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know
I don't know
YouTube
any
pays
other
that
place
much.
you can do that, right?
Yep.
That kind of money.
Yep.
That's real CEO money. Actually, more than most CEOs make. If you look at most CEOs, they make $275 a year,
Yeah.
right? They're not making 400.
Yep.
They're making $500,000. So we have a ton of not to say the wrong way, but very average guys making $275, no problem.
Yep.
No sweat, just $275 a year.
Yep.
Right? That is what you would have to go to Ivy League college and be an apprentice and be under so and so for so many years, and after 20 years now you're considered as a CEO for a company.
Yep.
Or a COO, and then now you're making that 180 to 275 a year, very respectfully, right?
Yep.
But it takes a lifetime to get there. So we could cut that lifetime learning curve into 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
Oh, they're trying to
Insane,
say
right?
a class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important, because we're teaching people how to become a bridge, the most important bridge. Now, if you have a bridge in a very poor town and the goods that are being traded are worth $1 or $2, not a very important bridge.
No.
But if you have a bridge between 2 countries and the merchants that are trading back and forth, each thing is 10,000, 4,000, 3,000.
Yeah,
right.
expensive.
And you're that bridge.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that bridge is worth a lot.
Yeah. They can't live without it.
Can't live without it,
They
right?
need it. Yeah.
So we're making people become bridges in wealthy land, right? So our industry is a wealthy land, $500 billion, and if you're a bridge in any part of that land, you're you're worth a lot.
Yep.
People are fighting for you, right?
Yep.
Especially with the skill set that we're teaching you.
Yep.
So it's how to become a bridge. Why is that bridge so important? Because you're a cash flow consultant. So you're bringing cash flow to the companies. What company can live without the cash flow? Nothing.
Yep.
I don't care how good the back end team is. I don't care how good the offer is. I don't care how good they take care of clients. If there's no money, there's nothing.
Yeah, they need money to survive.
Survive.
Yeah.
So what happens? We teach you to be the one that brings the money to the company, which is their heart. And you're the beating pump for the whole company, and they have to pay you accordingly.
Yeah.
Now, if you're bringing in X amount of dollars, they have no problem giving you a percentage of that. No
Right.
problem. Because without you, they wouldn't be here.
Right. Exactly.
Now, everybody else gets paid salary, wages, because they're not out there bringing the money in.
Yep.
That's what the money is. So
Yeah.
we're pretty much bridge makers at this point.
100%. And with that being said, we'd love to go through basically just a visual example and just a more in-depth demonstration on what being a cash flow consultant actually means in this recession-proof online education industry that we've been talking about. So like we talked about before, there's two ways that you can actually make money as a cash flow consultant. That is either by texting people and helping them over the finish line, or calling people. Again, both can just be done either using your cell phone or your computer. So on the screen right now, you should see a simple 4-step demonstration of how a lot of these businesses operate. You've probably seen a lot of examples of this before. Most companies in the online education industry that are selling some sort of training. This example comes from Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, who obviously also teaches a lot about real estate and investing and crypto and things like that. A company like Robert Kiyosaki's company might put out an advertisement on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You might see the little thing around the post that says that it's a paid advertisement. If you were to click on this paid advertisement, you would be redirected to a landing page where in this example, you can see the landing page says, "Get Robert's proven formula to investing into real estate." And on the landing page, if you wanted to get Robert's proven formula for investing into real estate, you would put down your name, email, and phone number. After that, after you get sent this free guide, someone from Robert's team is likely going to be reaching out to you to try and get you to schedule a warm phone call to see if you are someone that's actually interested in investing into real estate with Robert, learning how to do it, and ultimately becoming a paying customer of one of their training or coaching programs, which is usually going to cost between $2,000 to $10,000. Now, the reason that being a cash flow consultant is such an easy and fast way to start making money online is because at every single step in that process, money falls through the cracks. Because naturally, at every single step in this process, people are slipping through the cracks. Not every single person that clicks on the social media advertisement is going to actually put down their name, email, phone number. That means money is lost at that step because social media advertisements actually cost a lot of money. Same exact thing is true in the next step. A lot of the people are going to put down their information. Maybe you do this every single day. You put your information down on the landing page, but then you're like, oh, I don't really care that much, and you just forget about it. Guess what? That's even more money that's being lost for Robert or the business that's doing this. Then finally, there are going to be some people that schedule a phone call. They want to learn more, but they're just like, this doesn't seem like the right fit for me. I don't know if I have all my questions answered. They never become a paying customer, and money is lost at that stage as well. It's basically like a leaky bucket. The business is leaking money at every single stage in the process, and naturally, if you can be the one that's helping a business in this massive recession-proof industry plug all of these holes, not necessarily all of them all at once, but slowly beginning to put more money back into the business, you can be rewarded extremely well. Because basically, at the end of the day, every single business owner on planet Earth has a leaky bucket in some way or another. And naturally, like you were talking about, Ozzy, there's big money on the line. Not only is this such a massive exploding industry, but because social media ads, the way that a lot of these companies, including our own, advertise, these things are not cheap. In fact, back in November of 2022, I literally did an analytics report and I looked, we spent over $250,000, $263,000 on social media advertisements. Naturally, I'm going to want to see some sort of return.
1 month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to want to see some sort of return after spending $250,000 in a single month. And this is why this is such a lucrative opportunity. Now, there's two ways that ultimately you can plug the leaky bucket. Nazi, I'd be curious your thoughts, ultimately which direction you think is going to be best for most people getting started. But the two ways that you can basically plug the leaky bucket is, number one, in that step of texting warm leads. This means typing messages on your phone to follow up with the people in the business that put their information down but didn't end up scheduling a phone call. The second way is by calling warm appointments. This means to talking to people who had already scheduled a phone call in advance to walk them through the program or the offer being sold and answer any questions that they might have. Now, naturally, the closer you are to money actually being transacted, the closer you are to money changing hands, the more potential percentage you can make on the sale. On average in the industry, you can usually make between 3 to 5% commissions if you're only doing the texting. You're never talking to someone on the phone. But if you are someone that's calling people and speaking with them on the phone, you can generally earn 10, 20% commissions. Now, obviously, a lot of people hear that and they say, oh, well, I immediately want to do the thing that's going to make me the most money. But in your experience, Ozzy, from someone that's obviously made now millions of dollars doing this, have mentored many, many people successfully on how to do the exact same thing, what would be your general advice for someone that's maybe thinking about what's going to be the best way for them to get their foot in the door?
I'm gonna agree with them. Always go for the bigger one, right? Why not? Why not go for the one that gives you the most money from the get-go? Let's say you don't love it. Let's say you're such an introvert that you're like, you know what, I tried it, but I don't.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know.
Yeah. At least you tried it.
Tried it. You tried it, right?
Yep.
Worst case scenario, you go back and be like, I'm going to not talk to anybody directly, and I'm just going to copy paste my messages, and we're going to be good, right? But at least you tried it.
Yeah.
Right, because when you're doing the texting and and the way we teach it is to copy paste most of it, and then you just kind of pick, and it really becomes just copy pasting things back and forth all day long, and just maybe changing their name in the front, like so blah 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 blah, open space Susan, right? So it feels more like direct.
It's like fill in the blanks,
pretty much.
Yeah.
So what happens is for that you could easily make from 2,800 to 5,000 a month, just copy and pasting and texting. So listen. That's most people's jobs with a degree, right? So not a bad number to make, but you don't want to be the guys watching people that you were training with, and then you say, I chose to go here, and Scott chose to go there, and Scott's making 25,000 a month.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, I don't care how happy you are with your 5,000, you're going to do the math, be like, I'm missing 20, because Scott just decided to show his face and memorize the way they were taught to do it.
Yep.
That's it. It's nothing specific. Listen, most of the people that work with us that are extremely successful, like Jose, at first he was like, I'm not really comfortable with myself. And now I told him, I said, what makes you uncomfortable with yourself is your gift, is why you're going to do so well. You just got to be open about it. If you notice from the beginning of this video, I've been completely transparent about all my negatives. Because that's what people don't want to do. They don't want to share that, when they weren't perfect, right? They won't get in front of a camera if their hair, like mine, I didn't get a chance to get a haircut. My hair's like all out of place, it's all messed up, but I don't care. This is what matters to you today. So nothing is ever perfect, and if you ever shoot for perfection and you wait for that, guess what? You're gonna be 80 years old in a rocking chair one day. If you're lucky, not in an old elderly home, but in some family house or your own home, and you're gonna be looking back at this moment, you're gonna say, I should have done it. I should have joined. Right? Do that now. Because there's nothing left in life when you're older than regret. Right? You want to live a life with as little regret as possible. Now, has anybody ever regret asking to grow out? No. Even if you said no, even ladies, you too, ask the guy out. Dang it. So why? Because even if they say no and they ignore you or it doesn't work out, at least you knew.
Yep. It's not a what if.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
know how horrible it is leaving that night and you're thinking, she was looking at me all night, he was looking at me all night, but I was frozen. I didn't move. And you'll never know what happened.
Yep.
The what if will get to you.
Yep.
The what if could grow into a negative thing in your life and be a cancer 30 years from now. If you have so many what ifs, right? So don't let those things stop you. If you're asking me where to start, I would always start with the biggest. Shoot for the stars, if anything, used to be up there. But if not, you'll always be what if.
Yep.
Damn, I'm so good at the text game. What if I would have gone the other direction?
Yep.
Right? We don't want that for you. But we're fine with whatever you choose. If you choose to go there, that's cool. You could always move forward later on.
Yep.
But my advice is, if you were to do it, start with the bigger, and then go down to the other one.
Yep.
But we have tons of people. One of our main guys started with the first version of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's an attorney, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He left 18 years being an attorney to get into this industry. Started there, did that for a couple months. He wasn't even great there.
Mm-mm.
I fixed him, then he became great there, and then he said, now I'm ready to move over, and became a cash flow consultant, and now he makes more money than he ever did as an attorney, times two.
Yeah.
Okay, and he was in a really respectful, not like a little attorney in hole in the wall. He was with a big firm in Atlanta, handling huge cases for like very known brands.
Yep.
So with that said, he's killing it. He's crushing it.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So obviously, there's two different directions that you can go. And just as a demonstration, if you were to be doing the texting, where again, you'd be earning 3 to 5% commissions, and we'll go over exactly the math behind making upwards of $5, $10, $20, even $40,000 a month. But if you were doing the texting in this case, this is exactly where you would be helping people. You would be reaching out to people that the business has already gotten in contact with. Again, this isn't cold calling. This isn't random people. These are people that already know, like, and trust the business to a degree. We're just texting them and checking in using these copy and paste templates to say, hey, I saw that you were looking into this. Was this still something that you're trying to learn more about? Is there anything I can help you with? That's literally all you have to do, is just texting people at this step. If you are calling, again, we're not cold calling people. We're literally just reaching out to people and getting on a call with someone that already scheduled one in advance. It's just like how you schedule a hairdresser appointment or a barber appointment. You schedule it in advance, and then someone needs to actually be there to fulfill the service. That's exactly where you'd be calling people and potentially earning a 10 to 20% commission. Now, here's the theoretical math that you can make on the low end. Again, like Ozzy mentioned, usually the smartest thing to do is just go to the biggest money opportunity. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. You can always take a step back down. But let's say you were really shy, really introverted. You just wanted to dip your toe in the water getting started with the texting. Let's say, hypothetically, you were texting 50 leads per day. That's what a business calls, a person's contact information. You were texting 50 people each day using copy and paste templates, literally just filling in their names and a few details about them. On average, from what we've seen, about half of the people are actually going to reach out to you. Half of the people are just going to ghost you. Either they weren't interested, it was a fake number, whatever, and that's totally fine. We don't want to be reaching out to people or trying to force something down someone's throat that they ultimately don't want. You get responses from half of them. You get responses from 25. Let's say 15 out of those 25 people either aren't interested enough to want to learn more, it's just not the right fit, they don't have the money, whatever it might happen to be. Let's say you only schedule 10 out of those 25 people for an appointment with someone else on the business's team to potentially go over more details about what's being sold, what's being offered, so that they can learn more. Then let's just be conservative, because obviously we want this to be realistic. Let's say out of those 10 people that are scheduling an appointment, 3 of those people end up buying a package, a course, a coaching program, whatever it is, for $2,500. Now, to clarify, these are not deals that are being sold by you. Your job in this case, if you are doing the texting, is only doing the texting and just trying to get as many appointments set for a different team member as possible. But let's say 7 of those people don't end up buying, 3 of them do. That means you've just helped the business put $7,500 into their bank account. Incredibly valuable. No matter what the size of the business is, every business is going to notice if you're helping in some way.
Very, very rich bridge.
Yeah, exactly. And this is just on a daily basis using pretty conservative numbers. Now, let's say, of that amount, you're earning 5% commissions. That means for each sale, you would be earning $125, which means out of those 3, 125 times 3, you would be earning $375 per weekday that you're doing this. Or if you're working, a normal 5-day work week, you would be making $7,500 a month. Literally just copy and pasting text messages on your phone, working from anywhere in the world on your own schedule, anywhere that you can use a phone. Isn't that insane, Ozzy?
Yeah, so let's just stop there, because sometimes it goes over people's heads, right? Before we go to the big numbers and all that, Let's stop with the most minimal numbers. How many of you think you can get 3 people, let's say you have 100 a day, 3 people out of 100 to say, yeah, I'm going to opt in, right? And they buy. What happens is that, how is your life right now if you had $375 every day? Let's forget about the millions, the hundreds of thousands. Let's forget about that for right now. Just $375 a day. This is why I'm stopping this, because there were so many times in my life where that would seem like unreal to me. after all the heartache I've been through.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was in the market, and the guy was buying something, and he took out like a wad of money, and they're all 20s. And I remember thinking, I just need one of those 20s, man.
Wow.
Just one more $20 bill would have made a big deal that day in my life.
Wow.
So, what would $375 do daily for you? When you do your math and you're like, damn, everything I spend in my life is like $100 a day, right? Or some people less, but it was $100 a day. That means $275 are free. Every day coming into your account, $275 every day. How would that change your life?
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. And again, like you said, the goal is that many people are going to shoot for the stars. We're not saying don't try and make 20, 30,000.
Right.
But think about this. We've done our best to try and give you conservative examples. And obviously there's some people that are maybe a little below average. They're not going to hit, these metrics. But even in a worst case scenario, making $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month, just typing messages on your phone, whether you're on the couch, you're in bed, you're at your desk, you're on the toilet, you could do it anywhere, but you have your phone and you have an internet connection. Literally just copy pasting some messages. It's like you said before, Ozzy, this is something that 20 years ago it wouldn't have been possible, it wouldn't have existed, and probably in 20 years, it might not exist in this exact same variation. We're really living in an era because of the power of social media, because of the power of the internet, and everything that's happened after COVID. It's really a unique time for people that are able to capitalize on it. So this is obviously on the conservative end. Again, if you were just doing the texting. Now, if you were to go ahead and be a call cash flow consultant, someone that's doing phone calls, Zoom calls with what we call warm inbound appointments. These are people that have already scheduled a call. They already know a decent amount about the business. They maybe just have a few questions they need answered to learn more about the product, see if it's the right fit for them. Let's say hypothetically on a daily basis, you had 7 warm inbound appointments per day scheduled for you. And these were like 30-minute, 45-minute appointments that you would have already on your calendar. Let's say out of those 7, again, just to be conservative, let's say 2 of those people never even show up. They ghost you, you never hear from them, you text them, where are you? They're just never to be seen again. That's totally fine. Let's say out of that 7 then, you speak to 5 of them, and 3 of them, let's say, either aren't a good fit, they're not really interested, they don't have the money, or you just feel like something's not right. It's like Ozzy said, if someone doesn't feel like they're 100% all in on doing this, then ultimately you shouldn't be the one that's pushing anything down their throat. The goal is really just be a consultant, answer any questions, and really be that bridge between the person and the business. So let's say out of those 5 people who actually show up to answer the call, let's say 2 of them decide to enroll on a package that's $2,500. Now, as a call cash flow consultant, you would be earning a higher amount of commission because you're literally the one that's moving the ball across the finish line. You're literally the one that's actually putting the money into the bank account. And as a result, you're going to earn a higher percentage of commissions. Let's say hypothetically you're earning 15% commissions, which means for every $2,500 package, you're making $375. Now, if you were selling 2 of these per day, that is almost double what you would be making doing the texting, $750 per day. Or if you were working, a normal 5-day work week, that's $15,000 a month, more than 6 figures, simply talking to people that have already scheduled a phone call on the phone, again, working from anywhere in the world, anywhere you have your phone, your internet connection, and everything like that. And it's like you said before, Ozzy, these are obviously existing conservative numbers. We have guys that are doing this that are making upwards of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
Right.
At what point in this process do you think what do you think the big difference is for people that are the call cash flow consultants, those that are making between $15,000 a month and then those on the higher end paying $30,000, $40,000?
The biggest difference is that, one, they have a little more time involved, maybe a couple months in. They really perfected it. And then the reality is most offers are not $2,500. They're like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
Yeah.
So they have higher ticket offers, right? Because they've proven themselves. They could move units around. So when you prove that, then you're trusted with the bigger sale tickets. Most companies have starting points, middle, and then larger, and then you move your way up to those larger sale units.
Totally. Makes a lot of sense. So just like anything else in this business model and this opportunity, you're able to start, just dip your toe in the water. You're not expected to be like this world-class expert right out of the gate. But even if you're still in that kind of training phase, you're still making $7,500 to $15,000 a month.
Let's stop there. Stop there and let's be honest. What kind of life would you have at $7,500 to $15,000 a month?
Yeah.
Let's just be real, guys. You know, if you've never had that before, how would your life look if you knew every month you have $7,500 come every month? $15,000 every month. How would that change your life?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, most people would not know how to act because it's really life-changing money. It really is in a positive way. So it's exciting to hear. This is our very, very, very low ball way of explaining this, and it happens every day.
Yep.
And we have tons of explanations and examples of people doing it right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because even if we cut these already conservative numbers in half, and let's say the reason that we cut it in half is because you're working part time. Let's say you don't want to do this, for a full 6-8 hour workday. Let's say you're just doing it part time as a side hustle, 3-4 hours a day. You would still be making $3,750 to $7,500 a month, which, like you said, that's a lot more than the average college graduate makes first couple of years out of college, despite going into tens of thousands of dollars of student loan debt to get that degree.
Now, how many fathers, mothers out there are like, I want to make money, but I don't want to lose my kids' time anymore, right?
Right.
I want to see the first steps. I want to be there for the first diaper change. I want to be there for the first day of kindergarten, and I don't want to miss any sports. So, what else can you do that? If you do this part-time, you still have $7,500.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
So if you can make $7,500 a month part-time, that to me is something that it wins so much. To me, it's more exciting than $15,000 because you're free.
Yep.
You're free to live the life that. Why are we working? Why are we doing things?
Right.
It's so that we have enough energy called money that we could trade for experiences, right? And that's all we want. So you could trade all that for experience, but if you don't have the time to use it or enjoy it, what is the point?
Yep.
Right? So you got to find the happy medium where I'll make it as much money as possible, as easy as possible in the shortest amount of time.
Yep.
Why? Because everyone that's a cash flow consultant has one thing in their DNA. They're lazy. We're all lazy. We all want to make as much as possible with the least amount of effort. And you should want that. There's nothing wrong with that. People lie to you. Oh, they've been selling you since you were a kid that you have to work hard to make money. No. You should never think that, because then you bring into your life the negativity of, I have to work hard and give up and trade so much of myself so I could make some income. That's not true. It really isn't. So when we tell you this, guys, it's for your own good, we really want you to understand that you don't have to trade your time for money. You could choose how much energy you put out, but get as much energy back in the form of dollars to have as much experiences as you want.
Yep, exactly. And I think it's a perfect example that we have so many people that you've mentored as cash flow consultants, like Matt, the lawyer. Big reason for him obviously getting started was his son. He wasn't able to become, a full-time partner at his law firm, just because that was going to require him to be working nights, weekends.
After 18 years,
Yeah.
he would, let's say he skipped a Saturday. He said there was a ledger he had to sign every Saturday to make sure he was there. So if he came in on Monday, one of the partners would be like, hey, Matt, I see you're taking it easy lately. And he was like, dude, I've just done like 70 hours from Monday to Friday. It's one thing my kid out for Saturday.
Right.
And that's when he said it's not worth it.
Yep.
Because I'll never have my son's time back.
Yep.
This youth, this moment where he's little and cute will never come back to me again. Not worth losing it. So guess what? He made this very bold move in his 40s to leave a career that everybody wished they had, which is a successful attorney, and start all over.
Yep.
Just
Wow.
For his son, so I commend him for that. It's huge.
Yeah, that's huge. So we obviously have people like that, and then, people that maybe are wanting to go fully on in this. We have a lot of guys and girls in their early to mid-20s who are like, this is my time to work, this is my time to make money, I want to set myself and my future up for financial success. People like Donnie, who was actually coming from, the real estate world, he was busting his butt, he's working like 50, 60 hours a week, only to be barely taking home like a little less than, I think it was like $4,000 a month.
I didn't ask. It wasn't guaranteed. Sometimes it was 2,000. But
yeah,
the thing about Donnie, he's amazing because he just works hard. His whole thing was he gave everything he had for 3 years in the real estate market, and he wasn't rewarded for it. And then his first month here, he sent me a text, just how it changed his life. Second month, he was like, oh my God, this is like, for the first time, his family will be able to move out of the only apartment he's ever lived in.
Wow.
Since he was 5 years old.
Wow.
Nothing else has he ever seen.
Wow.
So he is the reason why his family could get ahead.
Yep.
So if you're like Donnie or myself, because I also was the reason for my family getting ahead, you have to do it for yourself and for them.
Yep.
It's something that you deserve. Do it.
100%. Now, with that being said, we've obviously talked a lot about, Ozzy, your beginnings and getting started. Just as an entrepreneur and obviously as a cash flow consultant, we've talked a little bit about what this opportunity looks like and the people that are currently tapping into this. At this point in the presentation, you really have three options of the direction you want to go. Option number one is you could close out of this video, you could do nothing with this information, and you could keep scrolling on social media. Now, there's going to be a certain percentage of people that pick that option, but in truth, just with everything going on in the world right now in 2023, if you're going to pick any of these three options, please don't make it this one. Because I guarantee I've talked to people every single day who don't believe us about the things that we're saying, who don't talk about, who don't think that the world is going to go this direction, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to keep, gambling my money on crypto or real estate or the stock market or, trying to start this millionth business that has not worked out. And ultimately, we hear from those people in 3-6 months, and they're even in a worse financial situation because right now, like you said, the tide is going out. People who are smart are preparing to put themselves in a position to thrive, and the people who are not, who think everything is fine, those are ultimately the people that are going to be hit the hardest. So that's not what we want to have happen for you. So by all means, we would not recommend going with option number one. Option number two, having learned about this opportunity, having learned about this world and the skill set of being a cash flow consultant, you could go out and try and do this on your own. And I'll be honest, you probably would be able to make this work given enough time. We've talked to people that have been able to become successful in this skill set.
Right.
The problem is it often takes them a significant length of time to do it because you're learning through really painful trial and error. You have to go find these business owners. You have to go see ultimately what kind of help you can offer them. You're not operating off of a proven framework or any proven templates. So maybe given, 2-3 years, you could figure it out on your own. But again, just with everything going on in the world and the timing of the industry that we're in,
Right.
ultimately, it does not make the most sense, in my opinion, if you are someone that sees the massive opportunity and you're seeing a lot of the warning signs, like Ozzy was talking about, just in 2023, you know that this is something that you want to capitalize on. So if that is not what you want to do, the last step is option number 3, which is a very limited opportunity to shortcut your success with us and actually become a cash flow consultant being directly mentored underneath Ozzy and our entire team of existing successful cash flow consultants. Because truthfully, the reason that we're putting this video out, the reason that we're recording this is not solely out of the goodness and the kindness of our heart. But together, Ozzy and I actually have a community of over 1,000 business owners, 1,037 business owners in the online education and the e-learning industry that are all in desperate need of cash flow consultants. These are existing business owners, many of them ranging from just making $10,000 a month to all the way at the high end, making multi-millions of dollars every single year. And guess what? It's like we were talking about before. Every single one of them has a leaky bucket problem. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger, but every single one knows for a fact, because we've showed them, that they have money falling out of their business every single day. And because of our own need to help our clients fix their leaky bucket, Ozzy and I decided to partner up and launch what we are calling the Cash Flow Consultant Academy. Ozzy, would you like to share just a few details about this and why this is such an exciting opportunity?
Yeah, well, the thing is, the skill set is learned very quickly. Instead of like 3-6 months, 4 years, it's learned very quickly, less than 30 days. And then you pay for it anywhere in the world. You're free to, we have cash flow consultants that are in Canada. We have Australia. We have several in London.
Yeah.
Right? Poland.
Yep.
Poland.
Yep.
What else we got? I mean, everywhere in the U.S.
South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So what happens is, in India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So what happens is we have all these members that are all over the world. We have one guy that last time we talked to him, he was in Colombia, and then he was in Puerto Rico. So he's traveling. He's a world traveler. So every other month he's somewhere new. So it's a beautiful thing. You could be anywhere in the world. And then the one thing is that people don't understand. One thing is doing something.
Unknown caller.
And then they let you go. Good luck.
Yeah.
Right here, we guarantee job placement. Why? Because you heard we have over 1,000 clients of our own that need this.
Yep.
So we guarantee that once you get here, either you work with us or you work with one of our clients in job placement. So it's a very exciting time for us to help you find your home where they see your value. Now you realize if they work with us, they know the value that comes for them. So the pay is going to be amazing because we tell them what is to expect them to pay out. So that you can get the most amount of money. As I said, if you choose number 2 and you want to do it on your own, there's a good chance if you have some skills that you're going to be okay. But what are the chances you're going to find someone's going to see the skill in you and see the value in that?
Right.
We're here, we're actually teaching our own clients that why the value is so high and why they got to pay well.
Yep.
So we're very excited to be able to guarantee you at least job placement within, a short period after you graduate.
Exactly. So for those of you that have stuck around that want to take advantage of this opportunity to partner with myself,
Do it,
Ozzy,
please.
and a team of existing proven cash flow consultants, below this video, you should see an option to fill out a short form and actually schedule a time with one of our existing cash flow consultants to go over a one-on-one.
This is the part that really excites me.
Yeah.
You're talking to them. Whoever you get on the phone with is an alumni. Ask them questions. How are you doing? Tell me the truth. Boom, they'll tell you. That's the coolest part. You're going to talk to people that actually went through what you went through. So whoever you talk to is one person that actually went through exactly the place you're at now, where you're thinking about it.
Yep.
You're not sure.
Yep.
And then guess what? They were the same place, but they did it. They moved forward, and their life has changed massively. So whoever you talk to, please take the time and ask them questions, because you're literally talking to a testimonial in the live form.
Yep, exactly. So on these calls, you'll be meeting with one of our screening advisors, and every single one of them, not a single one of these people is not going to be someone who didn't go through our Cash Flow Consultant Academy. Every single one of them was trained, mentored by Ozzy. They got certified in this process, and they've been a cash flow consultant for a minimum of 3 months. So during this call, they will be able to discuss your background, your goals, your current situation, to ultimately determine if you would be a good fit for this, because we realize this is not going to be for everyone. On the call, they will be able to explain everything that you need to know, answer any questions you might have about becoming a cash flow consultant, and then, and only then, if it sounds like you would 100% be a perfect fit, someone beyond a shadow of a doubt that would see amazing success with this, they can walk you through all of the details of our Cash Flow Consultant Academy program. And the reason that we do these one-on-one screening interviews with our existing cash flow consultants is ultimately because you and your situation are unique, which is why if our team would be able to learn about your unique situation, your background, your goals, what you're trying to work towards, we would 100% be able to determine if you'd be the right fit for this sort of opportunity. And ultimately, there's a few criteria that we've seen with our previous cash flow consultants that have seen massive success with this. Number one is ultimately if you want a remote job in the recession-proof online education industry in as little as the next 21 to 45 days. Ultimately, if you are someone that wants to land a job with as little risk and as little time invested as possible, this is going to be the fast track and the perfect fit for you. This is also for you if you don't have the time or the interest in stumbling through months of complex, expensive guesswork, trying to do this all on your own. Because like I said, you probably could figure this out on your own given 6 months minimum. But ultimately, like we said, with all of the things happening in the world right now, the window of opportunity to get started is today. So finally, this is for you if you want personalized one-on-one mentorship and guidance from someone who has not only made millions of dollars as a cash flow consultant themselves, that is Ozzy, but someone that has also helped mentor and teach this exact same framework, this exact same process and opportunity to hundreds of others who are actively doing it. And finally, there's a few criteria that we ultimately see with people that are not a good fit for this. Right off the bat, Ozzy, are there any warning signs or red flags that you see with people that aren't going to see success with this?
Yeah, 100%. If you're a person that's a victim, no. If you're a person that sees all the negatives in life, no. If you're a person that thinks 30 days is a long time, it's not for you.
30 days.
Those type of things is what I look into, and I go, that's probably not going to be a good fit. Everything else we pretty much can help you with.
Yep.
We work on mindset here. We're real big on mindset. When people try to figure out what's the difference between this and everything else, is that we bring in 25 years of me, over 2 decades of me working on spirituality. So without going into deep detail, we really work hard on you on being a new person from within.
Yep.
And this is why people find when you get on the phone, okay, you're gonna call, you're gonna phone, you're gonna dial in, and you're gonna get on a Zoom call with one of our consultants. Ask them, and you're gonna feel what I'm telling you right now when they talk to you.
Yep.
They're so genuine. They're so true. And that's what's going to make you say, I want to do what he's doing,
Yep.
what she's doing.
Yep.
Because for the first time, I really feel it's real, right? And if you don't feel that, get off the Zoom. Say, it's not for me immediately. But I guarantee you, once you get on the Zoom, one of our guys that went through this process, you're going to feel it.
Yep.
Because it's one thing we work on, and we work on them. Then ask them, how has this ripple effect worked for you on the people that you love? And the part that we're most excited about is when we hear, hey man, because of this, my family is doing that. Because of this, I'm able to help this person.
Yeah.
And it's this ripple effect of love and care
Yep.
that really goes out. And that's what really excites me about this the most. Because to be honest truth, I did a lot of bad things when I was young. And at a turning point in my life, I said, well, I want to do the most I can. One, to offset everything I did bad, but 100 times more
Yep.
to do good to the world. If you're not a fit, it's just because you don't allow us to even help you
Yep.
change what's stopping you.
Yep.
Because what's stopping you is not yours. It's somebody else told you you weren't worthy, you weren't good enough, and that sucks.
Yep.
Because it's not really who you are. But if you're tired of that fake, recording in your head over and over, jump on board. We're gonna delete that out of your system. Work with you. That's why there's so much massive growth in all our guys because we really work from within. You know.
Exactly.
But anyways, if you leave me talking, I'll be here for 2 hours. But go ahead.
Exactly. So if all of that sounds like something that you would be ultimately a fit for, maybe this is something that you're curious about, but you obviously have more questions, again, below this video, go to the calendar, select a time that you want to speak with one of our cash flow consultants. And again, there is going to be a few questions, a few application questions to ultimately determine if they'll even be able to take your call. Because on the screen right now, you can see just the daily schedule that many of our cash flow consultants across all of our teams are currently doing. They're obviously extremely busy. They're obviously extremely excited to speak to more people about this opportunity. But again, understand that we cannot help everyone. So if you don't have any serious intentions about actually showing up for this call, about learning more for this, I wouldn't recommend taking up that call slot in the first place because ultimately it could be someone that actually is going to utilize this opportunity. So due to our limited availability, we do have a few of these short application questions. If you do qualify and you are approved for a screening interview, be prepared to discuss on this call, number one, what your goals are, both personally and professionally. Like we were talking about before, obviously it's important to know ultimately how much money you want to make, but more importantly, how much time do you want to spend making that money? Because everyone's situation is going to be different. Some people just want to work 12 hours a day, make as much money as possible, and some people just want to work 4 hours a day, but have time to spend with their friends, their family, their kids, their loved ones. It's ultimately going to depend on you. So definitely think about those things and come prepared. Second, we will also be going over everything that you might want to know about the online education industry. Ultimately, this recession-proof opportunity that is predicted to be worth $500 billion in the next 4 years. And finally, how you can get certified as a dedicated cash flow consultant and be on pace for a take-home income of upwards of $100,000, potentially in as little as 21 days. At the end of the call, if you and your cash flow consultant both decide it is a good fit, you can discuss the possibility of enrolling into our Cash Flow Consultant Academy program. And like Ozzy said, getting a guaranteed job placement with one of our over 1,000 qualified business owner clients. And again, the most important thing that you have to understand about this is while we would love to, unfortunately, we cannot help everyone. We only run this video when we are currently looking for hungry, ambitious individuals who are finally ready to make a serious income and impact with this incredibly new, lucrative career. And ultimately, we have one of the best reputations in the online education industry because we are extremely selective of who we decide to take on, mentor, and work with. Obviously, if we just took on everyone and just taught this skill set willy-nilly, it wouldn't be as valuable and ultimately we wouldn't have the best reputation. But we've been extremely protective about the people that we teach this to, ultimately the people that we allow into the Cash Flow Consultant Academy for that exact same reason. And worst case scenario, if you're maybe a little nervous, you're not sure if you should do this, the interview is 100% free. There's nothing that you have to pay for just to attend the call. It's really just for you to learn more about the program. And even if our team can't help you, we'll be able to point you in the best possible direction to get your foot in the door in this industry. You're basically getting free insights from someone who's already a successful cash flow consultant.
Okay, so it says new online job opportunity that pays you to read scripts into your phone. And so basically, this guy sends me a bunch of videos. I watch the videos, right? He's not really talking about anything. And what I think is that he keeps saying opportunity, how much you can make. Everybody knows that YouTube pays $20,000 to $30,000, and most people are doing things online. But if somebody promised you an opportunity, you're gonna sit intently, just like I did. You're gonna listen, and then you're gonna realize it's bullshit because they are making the money on us just watching the videos. If we start going to a class and paying them, then of course you'll get a percentage of what somebody else pays them to basically read, just doing the same thing over and over again, just talking to you, encouraging you to make more money. It's like a pyramid job scheme because he hasn't said anything that would make like money. So I'm just listening to them. Every time they send me one, I'm gonna listen to it, record it. I'm not gonna buy into anything because to me, it's nothing to buy into. He said this thing says new online job opportunity that pays you to read scripts into your phone. And then my first thought was they are paying people of color to say things, and some people would take $1,000 and say anything. That's why I was listening to this podcast to see what they're gonna say. But he said it's a cash flow consultant. The advertisement said nothing about a cash flow consultant. So I guess you're gonna get cash if you do this YouTube. You're gonna get cash every month. And if people start paying him for his class, then of course, if I convince you to take a class, that's gonna be more money in the pot. So you, and on top of YouTube's money, you're making money from the fake business because I can't see anything else. What else? What is cash flow consultant? You're gonna get cash flow from the consultants who are telling you, hey, YouTube pays you money. So I think it's a little scamish. I sat through it. That's my understanding of it. You listen to it. What's your understanding of it? All I know is I'm tired of it. I was been tired of it for a while. But anyway, thank you for watching my video. And if I get some more information, I'll bring it to you.